Chapter 36. You! Take him, Radu said, commanding the nearest dark figure. Throw him in the gulch. Ah, you're lucky we need you for the war, Radu screamed. I hope you die in battle. You don't deserve eternal power. Marcus sat at the front corner of the table, fuming beneath his hood. The other 8 figures gathered stoically in their seats. We have what we need, said Marcus between his teeth. We were going to waltz into glory, Radu screamed. Now we have to make an effort. All the sweeter the taste of victory will be, said Marcus. Do not speak, said Radu. Pray to the underworld, this harvest is enough. Marcus pulled his chair in closer to the table. You were there too, you know, he said. I was where, Marcus? Radu stood up and stepped down, approaching Marcus. You just must be getting old, Marcus said, insinuating. Are you brainless? Said Radu, taking off his hood. Maybe it's time you stepped down. Marcus took off his hood. Radu surged a stream of a storm of dark gray smoke and blue-red lightning, blasting Marcus into one of the beams of the Pantheon, cracking the beam. Just take him to the chair. Light him up until he can hold his tongue. Radu and Marcus stared off, and throw him in a cell with the rest of the idiots. 2 of the hooded figures began to drag Marcus out. Not you, Arthur, said Radu. You've been promoted. Let's take a walk. Radu and Arthur descended into the shadow of the village. I always liked you, Arthur, said Radu. You don't complain about anything. In fact, you don't talk much at all. That's why I chose you. You're perfect for the job. They walked through the streets of uneven stones. Pale gray villagers with sinuous physiques pushed wheelbarrows of rotting sheep and goats. The creatures huddled round fires, roasting these animals scavenged from the cave entrance or bred in pale hairless herds. These people have waited a long time for this, Arthur, said Radu. The village stretched into the cave for miles under high carved-out tunnels. Building a breed that will be the new generation, Radu said. They will be the overlords of the earth, very close in intelligence to the very sheep they herd. You came from this crop, Arthur. You just showed such promise we brought you up to join the guard. From whence come these creatures? Asked Arthur. From deep within the bowels of the earth, answered Radu. They move not unlike a cloud of gnats. One day they will inherit the earth, and we will walk in darkness on a sea of these villagers, a layer between us and the death and decay. It's beautiful, Arthur. So, can you help me with this? Absolutely, said Arthur darkly. Good. Now we are wasting time, said Radu. Radu held up an old brown scroll in his hand. To the podium, Radu said. Let us build ourselves our army to end all armies. Moloch strapped Marcus to the chair. Funny how things change, Marcus, said Moloch. Weren't you just on the other side of this situation? It is funny, Moloch, said Marcus, grinning. Someday you'll get your turn. I don't think so, said Moloch. You are in fact quite stupid. I don't know why Radu kept you at his right hand for so long. Maybe it made him feel better about himself. What, are we all gunning for the white robe? Said Marcus. A lot of good you've done, Moloch. You don't even come out of your hut. Come out and do what? Asked Moloch. While Radu is in his hut, I'm strengthening my mind, I'll have you know, something you know nothing about. I am preparing for the day to come when I will have my own kingdom in the new dark world. Wow, you really need to get out of the cave, Marcus said. See the world above the ground sometime. Maybe I will, said Moloch, after I relish in the flying of your flesh. Moloch looked at Marcus and gave a great big grin beneath his hood. Marcus broke and panicked. Wait, Marcus said. We can team up. It is they who are dumb. This is great, said Moloch. He passed his board into the slot within the wall, activating many volts of dark electricity, frying Marcus's flesh. How does that feel? Asked Moloch. Don't you have more nothing to do in your hut? Answered Marcus. He still talks, said Moloch, inserting his board again. The electricity poured down through Marcus' body once more. When it finished, smoke rose from his cloak. I think that's plenty, Marcus said. Moloch activated the electricity again and threw him in a cell with the rest of the prisoners. I'll be back to check on you said Moloch. We'll see if anyone cares to ask where Marcus went. Marcus lay shaking on the cold stone floor. Radu and Arthur stand before the podium, the gaping darkness staring up at them from whence the stairs descend. Hold the scroll, Arthur, Radu said. Hold it high, you nitwit. Arthur stretched the scroll, which rolled over the podium and down to Radu's feet. Radu removed his hood. I have waited so long for this, Radu said. Radu closed his eyes and began to orchestrate his hands and corrupt flowing motions. He conjured the storm he once held above his head when Dharma arrived. Dark, thick gray smoke with red, purple, blue lightning. It swelled ominously and began to moan and crack. With one arm, Radu conjured out the golden ball of light from the harvesting of Adam's soul. He struggled, attempting to bring together these two energies. But when he pushed with one great groan, the storm exploded in the tavern. He held it just behind his head with two arms fully extended. He let out a guttural, belabored cry, and with all his might directed the insidious mixture down the throat of darkness. Let the dark boards reign, Radu cried, forevermore. The tavern shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. A low, loud hum and grinding emanated deep from in the tunnel. Something shrieking was drawing near, and from within the tunnel burst forth enormous winged creatures of black smoke and emberous bodies. They filled the sky with screeches. Below them now stomped out the metallic soldiers, tungsten, mercury, and dolomite, holding boards, marching in unison. Dark electricity of blue and red lightning coursed through the ranks. The soldiers had no faces. They were dense and heavy, crushing and cracking the ground as they walked. Radu took one look at the cracks. We can fix that later, Radu screamed long and powerfully. No, we can leave this cave forever and unleash the darkness through eternity, first on the earth and then the universe. Intermission.